Twice a year, the mayors of South Dakota's largest cities, we get together. We talk about issues, we talk about opportunities, we help each other along this journey called public service. And just completed our last meeting, which was on October 24th, and by far, I think it was our best one yet. Very, very well attended. Almost all the cities from or almost all the mayors from our large cities were in attendance. We had great discussion, and we also learned that we've got very, very similar challenges as well as similar opportunities. However, they just may be on a different scale, of course. We talked about things like workforce. We deal with, of course, those vocal citizens that sometimes capture the attention of the media every now and then. Certainly infrastructure, limited resources with unlimited wants and unlimited needs and so much more. However, there was one topic that certainly we all related to, and the more and more we talked about it, the more and more alarming the discussion became. And it was a topic involving meth. The mayor of Rapid City, Mayor Steve Allender, he really kind of kicked it off. And from there, it just went on. From the mayor of Huron, the mayor of Sioux Falls, the mayor of Watertown, the mayor of Yankton, the mayor of Mitchell, we all started talking about meth and how it was impacting our communities. The conversation was absolutely fascinating. I found it fascinating. And I've been doing this for 7 years, and I was just truly enamored by the discussion. In fact, the more and more that we discussed, the more and more that I realized that Sioux Falls and all of South Dakota, we really should talk about this in a more upfront fashion, in a more detailed fashion, because meth, it truly is impacting all of our communities, whether you live in a big city like Sioux Falls or a smaller town like Tripp or Parkston. So with that in mind, I do believe that it's time that we talk about meth, and I'm not alone. As you're going to find out, we're going to kind of partner with our teammates in West River as well, in Rapid City, and we're hoping that with your help in the media, and we're certainly thankful that you're all here today, and with help of other sources across the state, that we talk about meth. And I just want to give you a flavor, because I don't want to relay it all to you today, but just kind of let me give you a flavor for some of the hard-hitting quotes that we talked about at that meeting on October 24th. Meth. Drug arrests are doubling in the city of Huron, for example. A quote, "A meth addict will do whatever it takes to get their fix." There was one city or one town that said, in a way, every murder that we had in that town could be connected to meth. Every police shooting was connected to meth. Every robbery was connected to meth, and every burglary was connected to meth. We're seeing increases in violent crimes. We're seeing increases in property crimes. This is a drug that kids may try, but it's also a drug where you're not allowed to just try meth. It's going to hook you. Then the thing that probably started to concern me the most because my mom was at the head nurse at the Human Services Center in Yankton. We called it the State Hospital in the olden days for over 30 years. When the other mayors started talking about meth in this capacity, it really started to hit me. And it was, a meth addict cannot help himself. He or she must be forced into a treatment program. You cannot punish a meth addict in hopes it's going to correct their meth problem. Fascinating and scary beyond all imagination. Oh, and quote, you can find meth in your town in less than 5 minutes. Again, can you imagine we had all the mayors from the largest cities in South Dakota, and we were talking like this as a team about a topic that really should scare the holy living crap out of all of us, because what we're finding is that it truly is impacting our cities. Because again, you've asked me, media, hey Mayor, do you really believe that crime is increasing in Sioux Falls? And yeah, it is. And we've talked about, well, the city is growing. We've got 3,000 to 4,000 people moving here every year, and not everybody's a good neighbor. You've heard me tell that time and time again. But I think that one of the things that we're realizing, and then what we want to talk about over the next week with your help, media, is that this meth deal is real. And it's hitting us big time, and it's hurting us in ways that we cannot imagine. And so that, again, is why we want to continue to talk about it. There's more that we're going to talk about over the week, and with your help, we'd like to do that. And again, with your help, we're going to talk about things like, we're going to start off tomorrow. Mayor Steve Allender, and Mayor Steve, he brings perspective to this that I think all the rest of us were just trying to imagine, because he is an ex-police chief. And once a chief, always a chief. Once a mayor, always a mayor. And now he's bringing both perspectives to the dialogue. He did that on August 24th. And I really look forward to partnering with him tomorrow to talk about meth, not only in the city's second largest city, but the largest city in South Dakota, in Sioux Falls, as well as we'll talk about some of the things that we talked about as a team as well. I really look forward to that conversation tomorrow. And he will, even though he won't be here physically, he will be side by side with me tomorrow as we talk to you about meth. Then on Wednesday, we're going to hand it over to the men and women that are actually deep in the battle. And that is our police team. We'll have the Chief of Police of Sioux Falls and the Chief of Police of Rapid City, along with members of their team. They're going to talk to you about how meth is impacting crime in their cities. And it's huge. It's absolutely huge. Now, I personally am not going to get into the topic about how we're filling up the jail cells and all that. Now, again, we can talk about that, but we're going to mention some stuff over the next 4 days that we normally don't talk about with you, and that includes the media. Okay, I told Chief Burns, I told our team, as I said, you know what? If we're going to do this, let's do it right. No more head in the sand conversations. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about stuff that's really going to make people in South Dakota uncomfortable. Let's do it. Because if we don't, we're going to pay the price. And we already are. We already are. I talked about this is a drug that you can't just try it. And so if we don't get to our young people, if we don't get to our old people, if we don't get to to the rich, if we don't get to the poor, if we don't get to the black, if we don't get to the white, and if we don't talk to them about meth and what it will do, and if we don't talk about some of these scary statistics that the chief is going to relay and some of the other things, then we can only blame ourselves when we allow this to happen to our communities. So looking forward to the chief of Rapid City and the chief of Sioux Falls and others talking about that on Wednesday. Then again, the thing that really makes my heart kind of flutter a little bit in a bad way is we're going to talk about the health aspects of this. We're going to show you some pictures of people that didn't use meth and then they got into meth. And you're going to see what it does to you physically. You're going to see what it does to you emotionally. But then, the mayor of Yankton and the city manager of Yankton, you know what they talked about? They talked about the mental health aspects of meth and how it's impacting their community there. And we can talk about that here in Sioux Falls as well. I mean, just drive around Sioux Falls every now and then. Do you see some of these people? They're walking around like they're zombies. Okay? I don't know what's wrong with them, but our police team has a pretty good idea. Sometimes they're drinking, sometimes they're doing this drug, sometimes they're doing that drug. But if they're on meth, they will be zombie-like because they can't do anything but get to their next fix. That's their goal for the day. How do I get to that next fix? What store do I have to burglarize? What home do I have to get into? Who do I have to go knock off on a bad drug deal? And we'll talk to you about that on Thursday and Friday. And then on Friday, and media, I'd ask you to come back on Friday because then we're going to have a heart-to-heart with the people of our town. We're going to talk to moms. And we're going to talk to dads. And we're going to talk to teachers. We're going to talk to administrators. We're going to talk to business leaders, and we're going to talk to employers, and we're going to talk to churches, and we're going to talk about things that you need to start talking about if we're going to try to make some dent when it comes to these issues called drug abuse in the city of Sioux Falls and in the state of South Dakota. And so we're going to talk about that. And again, I'm the mayor, and certainly I want to just talk about all the fun things and all the great things and all the things that are happening that we're getting great accolades on every day and every week in the city. But I thought that truly after that meeting on August 24th with those mayors, that what, everybody get your dang head out of the sand and let's talk about this. In ways we've probably not done before in the state of South Dakota.